The Marvels is currently out in theaters with a Rotten Tomatoes score at the time of this recording 60% by the critics and 86% by the audience. Higher, faster, further, baby. Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm Adan.
where we give you a review at least once a week. I know we're going long, and I don't want this to be long, but we're going long. Spoiler alert. If you have not seen Captain Marvel, or if you have not seen Ms. Marvel, or WandaVision, that is, currently streaming on Disney Plus, you may get a little lost. What was your initial thought? You saw it last night. I saw it last night. And last night we were referring to as Thursday. What was your
Mhm.
initial thoughts?
I had a decent time with it. There were some highs and lows with it. I went with mom.
Uh oh.
You're absolutely right. First of all, she is lost. Even though she saw the show, she saw both shows, and she forgot them completely. And she's like, "It's not for me." She walked out. It's like, "It's not for me." But I had a decent time.
It was better than anticipated for me.
Yeah.
I didn't go with high hopes. When we did our review on Ms. Marvel, I thought Ms. Marvel was awesome. And before we go into that, let's give the credit where credit is due. It's directed by Nia DaCosta. Writers are Nia DaCosta, Megan McDonald, Elissa Karasik. Starring is Brie Larson as Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, Tiana Paris as Monica Rambeau, Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury, Zol Ashton as Dar Ben, Gary Lewis as Emperor Draj, Park Sun Jun as Prince Yan, and then you have the parents, Zenobia Shroff as Nodiba Khan, Mahang Kapoor as Yusuf Khan, Sagar Shak as Amir Khan. You also have here who made a cameo, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. Now, like I said, I loved Ms. Marvel. The series was great. It did a great job. Performances was awesome. They introduced or brought in the word mutant
Hmm.
officially into the MCU.
Yeah.
Kamala Khan is their first recognized mutant.
Yeah, not mutate. There is a difference in Marvel. The Incredible Hulk, that is the example in Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Those are examples of mutates versus genetically mutant where you're born that way. They heavily revamped her character when you think about it. Like the OG Ms. Marvel was inhuman. Now she's a mutant. And now her power set is also, which we'll talk about, is also
Mhm.
augmented because of that.
This movie gave us some answers, but also gave us some plot holes.
And questions.
Well, that's the plot holes.
All right.
So, right? I mean, you have the answer like in when you saw WandaVision, when you have Monica Rambeau, so whenever like Captain Marvel's name came up, she like had an attitude. And like
Mhm.
why? We didn't know that. And then we get the answers why she had that attitude or distance or wanted to create a distance between herself and Captain Marvel. And we get that answer. You know, and it makes sense. And I'm glad they did that. And they gave some other answers in the two in the sense of why the villain is who the villain. Like since Captain Marvel, the original one came out, Captain Marvel, excuse me, made some appearances in other films.
Yeah.
Endgame, Infinity
Uh-huh.
War. No, was she Infinity War? No, she wasn't.
At the
Was
end,
she Infinity?
I think at the end.
But anyway, I'm gonna go right into the bad ones because I'm sorry, that villain was weak as hell.
For a lot of reasons.
It should have been a guy
Why?
because she wasn't that strong, even though she had the hammer of Ronan, which made no sense of why Ronan or why she has the hammer of Ronan or Ronan's hammer, where it no longer has an infinity stone, but it has like the same powers.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
That makes no sense. Her mindset is very current now of what's going on in Israel and Palestine, where you hurt me. So now I'm going to destroy everything that you know over beyond. Now, I'm not trying to be political here. And so what we have here with Barden is she's doing the same thing as like, I don't care whatever it takes. I'm going to hit you where it hurts. I'm going to take away the water of one planet to which that planet needs. I'm going to take away the sun that one planet or galaxy needs. I'm going to take any all the resources that everyone that you have helped. I'm going to destroy. That's a crazy and sloppy tactic, in my opinion. Again, what's happening right
I
now in
mean,
current
honestly,
events.
that's the same. motif as most Marvel villains that they've done. And look at Malekith from Thor 2.
Hmm.
He wants his universe and his world back, so he pretty much is going to doom all realities in order to get his thing. Hela hates Odin for like locking her away, and she's going to destroy the kingdom in order to get it the way that she wants it to be done, and hurt her own siblings in order to do so. If arguably, I would
She is the
say
villain
Captain
all
Marvel's
the
more of
way.
a villain.
Well, she was in the beginning, right? She started off because she was very reactive in what she did in taking out the AI,
Yeah, and then she's like,
the
"I'm
higher.
trying to make things better," but for everybody else but the Kree. As soon as the Kree shows up, she starts attacking, and people tell her, "Don't go in firing first." And she's, you're right, she is reactive, but she lives up to her name as the Annihilator. It was the same thing in Captain Marvel. The Skrulls will show up. First thing she does is attack the Skrulls and tries to do it. It's the same mentality and tactic.
Well, yeah, but that's because of what she was taught.
Not necessarily. That like she's was that way, that kind of a person, that was an aggressive person.
No, that was how she was taught by the Kree when they captured her
I dare
and she
say
was in the jail.
that's a human trait in her.
Okay, I beg to differ because we don't see that. We only see that when her and her teammates in Captain Marvel that they just go act. And plus, they captured her. Didn't they capture her? The scroll, so she don't know what to do. So she's defending herself. She had those arms covering her hands. Those
No, but every other time on top of that, and then on top of which, like there was that scroll community that they infiltrated at the very beginning.
from Captain Marvel, they were trained like military, just go after. So you can't say that even though she was
Mhm.
military before that she had that same attitude or approach when she was serving the U.S. military.
But they did establish when she was, even before she was Kree, she had an issue taking orders from authority. She has a problem with that, and
Yeah, but
she goes
okay, that's two different
AWOL and
things
does her
though.
thing. No, 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 no.
That's two.
Nick
That's two. That's,
Fury told her, "Don't
but
go
that's
in.
different,
This is a peace treaty situation. Don't go in blazing." And she goes in blazing.
right? But she go over to the scrolls or to where Darbin was.
She goes over. Darbin was with the Skrulls, and Darbin found her after they had already started. After she had already started
No,
attacking.
okay, no, but they were on the ship. They came into the ship
She and
after the peace treaty. And then Darbin left and said, "Oh, not knowing the facts, she's being reactive," and then starts and then hits the gauntlet to the hammer to destroy the earth,
yes, but
the air.
let's be practical here. If someone literally destroyed our entire community, our
Okay,
ecosystem, and they
before you
were the
stop,
cause of that.
before you start, okay, this is me. I don't find that you hurt innocent people. That's just me. Okay, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in
No,
like if
I don't
you want.
agree with that either.
But the thing is, like, Darbin's presence to me felt weak. I hated her grill, the freaking
Oh, I didn't understand that. Like
that
maybe
grill was
because
like
of the whole ceiling scene where
maybe
she
she
crashed
busted her
her.
teeth.
Yeah,
If that was the case, then get the whole teeth fixed like that. Why
I
just
don't know.
have that biters and then the middle, that's supposed to be a space
Yeah,
thing. I hated how she held her hammer. She just stood there like a toy robot. I would have liked it if she had the hammer down, with the handle sticking up or resting on her shoulder in a sense of cockiness and authority. She was just very robotic. And it's like, once your arm get tired, I just really didn't like her overall.
I mean it's the same
I
plot
don't
from
care.
Spaceballs. Let's be honest.
Spaceballs is taking his pages from Star Wars.
But am I
So,
wrong?
but no, you're not. I mean but it's very basic. It's not original.
That's what
It's
I'm
not
saying.
original.
Here's where it
It-
would have been better. Yes, like she's trying to grab the ecosystems because she's trying to rebuild the Kree Empire and rebuild the Kree homeworld by grabbing these ecosystems. It's arguably the same concept of Galactus going to thriving homeworlds in order to gain life. But make it more about Captain Marvel, the big twist, because there was no payoff about this. Make it more about Captain Marvel being the big bad, like the unknowing big bad. Captain Marvel went in, essentially destroyed an empire, destroyed and was the cause for the ecosystem. Yes, they had civil war, but when you're the cause, you're the cause. Make that the central point. Make
that
that
makes
the
sense.
focus of it. Have that be a big dynamic. They walked over that like it was
especially
like a babbling brook. It was just like a small
right,
thing.
especially with Kamala Khan being right there as the biggest fan
Hmm.
of Captain Marvel, and then seeing that and like, holy crap, like
Yeah.
she was let down.
There was a
Was
couple
she? Was
moments
she?
where Kamala was let down, but then she just goes, "Captain Mo, my captain," and even Monica was like, "What the
Oh,
hell?"
twinsies. You're right. That would have been a better one. Making her the villain, not knowing she is the villain. That would have been
Hmm.
a better approach of seeing like your actions have consequences.
Yeah,
And they did cover that a little bit, but it's just like
it was so
small. It was
brushed
quick.
over. She's like,
Yeah.
"I'm trying to make things right." No, you're not. What you're trying to do is you're defending the people that you wanted to keep, that you did side with
Hmm.
initially, and then when the Kree are trying to do things, instead of going back to them and like, "Hey, I messed up. Let's make things right," you're still attacking them in under the guise of defending these other people. To the Kree, you are the ultimate enemy. We can't, and to the Kree, you literally are the ultimate weapon. We can't defeat you, but we
Right.
can attack these others and try to reclaim our livelihoods. Thousands, millions of innocents, and she said it, the Kree occupied 25% of the known galaxy. That is huge numbers.
So how come you couldn't get the sources from those places? And
Technically, they
that
were because the I'm just gonna call it the planet Aladdin. That planet was a Kree territory until
is that the musical one?
yeah, that was a Kree territory until Captain Marvel came and influenced it, and then as well as the Scroll planet where they were refugees at. They were both technically part of the Kree Empire until she decimated it.
Again, she just, I'm sorry, she looked weird and stuff like that.
She the
She looked
problem
weird.
setting aside looks like is her character didn't bring to the table anything that was
Right.
relevant, to be
Right.
honest. And that's
Because
more
she's a new
that's the written character, you know.
right. Now it would
Um
have been like better in the sense of seeing with the one preview that I saw, then she has the hammer. I thought she was a descendant of
Ronan.
Ronin.
In the comics, Ronan, the accuser, it's just one of many accusers. Accuser is just
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
title, like a
Right. Yes.
lieutenant or corporal or whatever. So I thought I did never read of Darben, and now I learned a little bit more. Darben was a general who became an emperor in the
Hmm.
Kree Empire.
Was it a female or a male?
It was a male, but his character got. I don't know any pivotal stories with him, to be honest, and he
Yeah.
got overwritten a lot. So not that important of a character. The other things that were important weren't with Darben. Ronan and accusers, I could argue that the weapon maintains some of the power, like residual energy from the power gem. Sure, that's an argument that could be done. The accuser hammer is a weapon that is supposed to be infused with powers on its own, anyways.
Hmm.
So why not? Sure,
Why not give that explanation
it
with
gets
either
ghosted over.
by magic?
Yeah,
Because the thing is, yeah, you're right. It may have some remnant or residual from the stone, but it's been several years already.
yeah. I mean,
Several years.
like the original hammer could destroy a planet with the stone. Here, it's not destroying a planet; it's just using to boost the gauntlet, as it were.
But before that, she had it before the gauntlet.
No, but she uses it to charge it. That's why she keeps
Okay.
hitting it. Let me say it this way: the movie, as much as we've played compliments and we've just put downsides, is essentially an extended episode of Ms. Marvel, in my opinion.
Oh, no doubt. Because in the end of Ms. Marvel, we see them change. They see Kamala Khan and Captain Marvel
Hmm.
exchange bodies and spaces.
Yeah,
So, yes, it's totally a continuation and a continuation of WandaVision, if you will, with Monica Rambeau, who is never named Photon, even though she is known as Photon.
she Monica Rambeau. I just went through a whole thing about Monica Rambeau. She went through like several different names:
Oh,
Photon,
she was originally
Spectrum.
Captain Marvel.
She
She was
originally
originally,
Captain Marvel, and and
yeah,
technically, Carol Danvers wasn't a captain when she
no, she was
became
Ms.
Captain Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah, she was
She
Ms.
was Ms.
Marvel, and
Marvel.
she didn't even have the rank of captain at the time. It just sounded better. And Captain Marvel was her before that, so that was a whole lot of things. So let's span off of the villain, right?
Well, are we still talking about? the
Negatives?
bad stuff, the
Yeah,
faux
yeah, yeah,
pas, or we're
yeah.
going okay, faux pas.
Let's
Okay,
finish that
here we
out.
go. Oh
Nick
no,
Fury,
definitely, no
still
doubt.
not a fan of how they're doing Nick Fury.
Oh, they're making him more comedic.
Yeah, I saw the change from Captain Marvel, and they're just and then they tried to pull it back with the Nick Fury show, and then they didn't. They don't know what to do with
So
him. I mean, I like Samuel Jackson. I just
I
don't
like
like how they're
no right,
juggling the character.
because he was not comedic in the books. He was very no nonsense, straight to the point, very focused.
Oh, that's how he was in the first like 10 years. Occasionally, like a spit of humor. Like now,
Right.
it's getting kind of ridiculous.
Overall, I don't think he was needed for this. They could have someone else give a new character because let's face it, this Nick Fury, Sam Jackson, is in his 70s. He's not going to be around much longer. You can't really do de-aging. It would have been better to see like someone else take the reins.
In the comics we grew up with, usually just was the guy, the idea guy. He was the planner. He would sit around. He didn't really get into the action so much. And now in
Mm-hmm.
the comics, like Nick Fury is like the unseen, or I think is the character's name. Like he took the place of the Watcher. It was a
And
whole storyline.
not to take away Sam Jackson's ability to act and his, because he can, but it's like he is not the MCU. He does not have to be in all of them or the majority of them. He is not
Hmm.
needed for that. Give someone else now the moment to shine, or give someone else. I mean, we saw that too at the end with Kamala Khan. She took the place of Sam Jackson or Nick Fury. Excuse me. We'll get to that soon. We'll get to that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Mhm.
Fine, he was in it, fine, but not needed. Who was also not needed in this was the Khan family. Not so much airtime. They gave way too much airtime
Also,
to
why
the
I was
Khan.
saying it's like an extended episode. I did like the Khan family. Don't get me
I,
wrong.
I did not. Not for this. Not for this. It would have been good to see them in the beginning and then see them at the end at the house.
Okay,
That would have been fine. And the thing is, like, so the Firkins, Goose was the real hero, if you will, if you want to talk about it.
which made no sense to me.
No, but I guess he knew because he started creating a litter
Well,
all over
no,
the place.
no, that's the thing in the comic where it's a MacGuffin. It's like one of those, you know, coincidental things. DX Machina, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm not going to
But
take that. I just think that I want to say that he had an
he can't
intuition.
spontaneously reproduce, or
Well, he did
she,
here.
whatever.
He did here. And the thing is, how come the Firkins were able to swallow all of the crew, but they wouldn't swallow up the cons? I mean, weren't they did they need to be saved too? Because that space is so small, the escape pod.
Well,
Again,
no,
those
that was
for
my
comedic.
problem. Was like, since when could Goose and the others spit out things at will?
Well, that's probably something that we don't know because we know. All I know is not from the comics, but from the movies that it came out randomly. Right.
Yes, and
But
and
now,
that was, to my knowledge, how it was. Like that was how the cosmic cube happened, and now,
right.
oh, grab them and they'll spit you out safely. I'm like, there's no guarantee. These are like feared creatures amongst other
But
alien
probably that's what
species.
was happening with the ship was spitting. It was probably getting nauseous, which was causing them to spit out. That
Yeah,
could
but
be it.
that's one ship. What about the other ship?
I thought it was just one.
No,
Cons in there
because
too.
there was two, because they stuffed them and then they closed the door,
Oh, that's right.
and the family was in elsewhere and they went to another
That's
one.
right.
So there
That's
was
right.
no guarantee that you're going to get them spit out, and even at that, the people themselves would be spit out because they spit out random things because they kept eating all sorts of things.
That's true too. So that again, that's a plot hole. But another plot hole with me is when Kamala is picking up Captain Marvel, she doesn't have the bands on. The bands are in space.
Oh yeah, and she's like testing her powers.
But the thing is, like, how are you testing her powers? I thought the band was the one that
And
creates
apparently,
her
she doesn't.
powers.
She doesn't need the bands now. I noticed that immediately because
Me too. I was like, she's like when they try to switch bodies and she hadn't had the
hmm
bands on and she switched. I was like, but wait a minute, that's not supposed to happen.
So what's the point of and on top of which, why separate the bands? If the bands are meant to be together, Kamala was
Mhm.
like, "I'm born for this," and you can tell she does not have negative effects on her because that was the
Right,
one thing that no one addressed. No one
right.
addressed that Darben was like getting like varicose veins of the hand and
She was
neck.
getting poisoned.
She was getting poisoned by this power, and she was okay. I'm like, wow, you literally are born for this.
Yeah.
Brie Larson's like, I got the other one. When they went to the house, I'm like, why?
I guess it's just for to keep them separated for safety reasons. But Again, no,
Oh,
no.
oh. In the comics, there's two types of bands. There's the quantum bands, and then there's the quasar
Negative.
bands.
Uh-huh.
Here, they kind of merged the two together because you just make
That's what
one
they
set of
do.
bands. And correct me if I'm wrong. OG Captain Marvel, and then other Captain Marvels, not Monica Rambeau, but other Captain Marvels after that
Quasar.
had the quantum bands, and then
I thought. Well, I
Quasar
thought
had
that.
hit the quasar
I,
bands.
wasn't there two bands? One like the negative, and one like you were saying before. Not quasar bands, but there was one like the negative bands, and then the
Oh,
quantum
they may
band.
have been the Nega bands or something like that.
Negative band.
But
Anyway, but
basically, they did like Green Lantern like constructs and stuff like that,
right.
and
Here's
that's what we
another
were
one.
thinking.
Here's another one. Does every woman who wear bracelets have to do the Wonder Woman move? I'm
I
so
missed
tired of
that.
the Wonder Woman. Darban did it. She did this. She did the cross. Boom. And then she died. She disappeared. She disintegrated. And,
Oh,
and then Kamala Khan did it too to help give the power to Photon. And she did the same thing
so
too. Instead of going like straight out forward
yeah,
to shoot, I was like, but
I didn't think
why?
of it like the Wonder Woman move because in the comics they do. Granted, a lot of times it was like above the head, but
Right.
it was like Incredible Hulk, Buddy, Rick Jones. Rick Jones had the bands, and he
Mm-hmm.
would use the bands to swap into being
But
Captain
I'm just
Marvel.
saying, it's like you cannot unsee it. When you see it,
You
and
yes,
when women, any
absolutely.
woman wears it and does it in a movie or something like that, you automatically think of Wonder Woman because she's the one that really
Hmm.
put a stamp on
Would
it.
have been better if they did it like this, like Ultraman style.
No, it would have been better if she did this. Shoot forward, like just extend the arms out and
Clap
like
those
you're shooting.
hands.
I'm just, I was just like, oh come on.
Actually,
Now,
that would have actually been cool. But like she like clapped her hands forward and like used as a
right,
beam.
or like do like a pray, like they
Yeah.
do in the religion, right? So I mean, why not? But those were like the ones that really got me. It's like you gotta be effing kidding me, because those are my biggest faux pas. It was
Yeah.
the villain was very uneventful for me, unexciting.
The
The
main
parents,
plot of the villain was also unexciting for you. It was basically Spaceballs.
yeah, the parents overkill was not needed. I did like though at the end when the mother told the son, it will be a very nice house to raise a family, and he has the remote trying to turn her off. That was
Yeah.
funny.
I thought he got
Oh,
married. I forgot about that.
didn't something happen that they had like a festival and
Oh
and
yeah, there
she,
was an attack. It was like they were doing the like a wedding
right?
celebration.
What I did like, I'm surprised that I'm saying this, is the musical scene. And I hate when
On Planet
I
Aladdin?
hate that, yeah, because we saw a musical happening at in the end of Hawkeye or during the beginning of Hawkeye of the musical of Captain America,
Yeah.
his story. And I was like, oh, so cringy, but it wasn't so Broadway. The musical was cool. Oh, talk about musicals. I did find it funny when the Falklands are swallowing up the people and they're playing the main theme song, Memories from Cats,
Oh yeah,
Barbara
yeah.
Streisand. I was laughing from that, and I thought that was quite comical that they use that song with this scene, especially from a horrible Broadway show, in my opinion. I don't know if I told you this, but we went to see Cats, mom, dad, and myself before you were born.
Hmm.
After the show, we're walking to the car, and they turned to me and said, "We're sorry."
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me this once.
Because it's visually beautiful and it says the costumes, all the stuff, but it's a bad, horrible.
That's funny.
Do you have a good moment?
When you're swapping between each other for the first time, Kamala's falling through the sky, and he's like, "Fly!" She's like, "I haven't flown before." And he's like, "Well, now's a good time." And he talks her into it, and they finally swap, and it's Carol Danvers that hits the ground. It's like, "Oh, it's cool, it's Carol," and
Right.
that just made me laugh. Kamala Khan's character, my favorite character in the movie.
Agree with that too. She was strong and in the series, and she was strong here. I was worried because on the preview, her overreaction when she sees the Falkland taking the people, and I was
Yes.
like, that's way overacting. But besides that moment, she was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Actually, did like that fight scene in the house where they're
Yes.
swapping.
Yes,
Um,
I agree with that. That was a great scene. The action was really good. The movements were very kung fu.
Yeah, that was the most out of Monica Rambeau for the longest time. So you see Monica Rambeau using her powers all throughout the entire fight scene. Then there's the other fight scenes, but it's not really that utilized for her powers, in my opinion. And then the end where she becomes, I want to say, Photon. MCU, you nerf all your characters. That's fine. We'll go with that. But wow, like Monica could bring more to the table, and she, other than spitting scientific jargon every now and then.
Well, let's say we needed that. We needed because we have a kid, we have a military person,
Hmm.
right? And then we have the science geek person, which balances out because the kid doesn't know anything yet. The other one's just been using physical force. Now you have the brains in
I
that
mean,
way.
she can fly Kree ships and work with their technology. Like,
No, I know. There's, I mean, but there had to be that balance because they've been not creative enough, or would not be exciting enough if everyone's at the same level.
yeah, I do
Now,
like
granted,
Brie Larson's performance a little bit better here.
I think she's great. I mean, like in our review on Captain Marvel, I thought she did a great job, better than I remembered.
Hmm.
And yeah, she did great here. Everyone did well. The performance was well, except for the villain, in my opinion. I mean, also her sidekick, that guy, underutilized. He
Oh
was
yeah,
like her Alfred,
yeah. The
but
one
he was
who
underutilized.
the advisor, I call him.
Yeah, I would have been more appreciative if he was had more screen time than the parents, or more lines than the
Because
parents.
he knew stuff. It's just that nothing
Right.
was being done with him or utilized with that. I would also say, of course, the two end credit scenes were fun.
I like the first one with Kamala Khan and with the new Hawkeye. I can't remember her name right now, but reprises the scene from Iron Man at the end, where Nick
Yes,
Fury introduces himself to Tony Stark in a different fashion, but similar. She has the pad to show that they know who you are, and she's recruiting her to join the new team,
which is
the
going to be
Young
the Young
Avengers,
Avengers. Yeah,
which will be awesome to see because we have from all the series so far, besides Loki. Oh no, Loki too, because Kang is a young Avenger, a young
hmm
version of Kang. So we see that the building blocks building higher and higher, going in that direction. What about you? What do you think about that scene?
same things. I enjoyed it. I instantly, as soon as I saw the dog, no, as soon as I saw her opening the door, because I saw the quiver and the arrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I saw the dog just seal the deal, and then I saw
Mm-hmm.
her sitting there. I laughed, and they were like, "Where'd you get that information from?" And she's like, "My couch."
But I thought she said that my pad or something like
I thought she said I got my pad from the couch or something like that. I may have
that.
misheard her. And I just thought it was funny. Kind of brings it full circle, and I see what you're talking about. Like she's gonna be the new Nick Fury in the sense that she wants to put a team together. So yeah, I do enjoy that. And of course, we have to talk about that last
But
mid credit scene.
before that, let's go back also because it does tie in to the last scene. It does tie in to Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness,
Oh yeah,
and it also the scene where Monica Rambeau disappears. It goes into the because they were talking about it was the first, I think, since Multiverse of maybe not before after
so do
Multiverse,
you think it's the
but
same universe?
no, because the other character is also different, even
Yeah.
though it's voiced by the same actor from The Last Stand. But the thing is, they talk about a multiverse because they ripped
Yeah.
instead of
No, I
like
meant do you think it's the same universe of the Doctor Strange multiverse of
no,
madness? Yeah.
no, the costume's different.
Okay.
Let's say it
Hank.
now. Hank Pym reprising the role by Kelsey Grammer, the voice that is, not the body, because the
Mhm.
body was totally CGI to fit more of the comic book and the animated version. But to hear his voice, and I was like jumping in my seat, like excited to see. And when they showed the CGI version, I was even more ecstatic because they got the look right. And I was like, holy crap, that was awesome. And and Kelsey Grammer's is the perfect voice for Beast.
Either that or is the guy still alive? The
No,
original voice.
I don't care. I want Kelsey Grammer. And then it shows officially now, since we had in Ms. Marvel the announcement of mutants, now we
Yes.
have an actual mutant of the X-Men.
Oh,
So you
absolutely.
have that, and it was like, yes.
Hmm.
So it's getting more and more closer to it. I'm surprised. I didn't remember. I don't know. Maybe they did. If they played the X-Men music,
I didn't
but I was
remember
too
hearing the
excited.
X Men music at that point. You didn't need it because that's clearly Beast.
But
Um,
still, it's a nice thing they do that because they did that. They did that a little bit with in Ms. Marvel when her best friend said, "You're a mutant," and they had the little
yeah,
music played. Even also in when Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, Professor X shows up, they play that music. I'm totally excited. I'm glad they're officially getting closer and closer of making X-Men in the MCU. Now, granted, Kevin Feige said all Marvel films are MCU canon.
Yeah,
Because the multiverse is now
I think.
here. The Sony films, all the Fox films, they're all part of it because they're all different branches of the multiverse or realities of the multiverse.
And Disney bought it.
Now, I want to go over another faux pas because we've talked about this in other Marvel films in the sense of science and space. I guess no one has effect of gravity in space. Hair doesn't float, nothing like that. I guess you can stop midair in space while you're trying to save your niece going full Mach 5 speed, and you could stop on a dime in space. Is that a thing now? I guess you can do.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Captain Marvel, when she's trying to save Monica, trying to get her out from the other side. And before Monica, right when Monica closes it, Carol keeps flying, but then she stops mid space, stops, doesn't keep going because we talked about in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 that you keep going the same, and also in Ahsoka that you keep going unless something blocks your
Yeah,
distance. You just keep going the same velocity, and she just stopped. And hair just flat.
you're talking about the end scene. Yeah.
I'm talking about any scene in space.
If she's not unconscious, she can move wherever she wants in space.
Yeah, but she stopped.
Yeah.
She stopped. Come on, it's kind of come on. We're not science nerds, but we understand that. I will say another nice fight scene that was on top of the ship on Aladdin.
Oh, that wasn't bad. I thought it was funny when everybody jumps out and Kamala's like turns back and everybody's looking at her. She's like, I can't fly.
Oh yeah, she was good. She was good. She had that real personality in the sense like this is still new to her. She's a fan, not fanboy, but fan girl, and she's surrounded by she was thrown into this world in a matter of weeks or days. So again, on Rotten Tomatoes is currently scored by the critics 60%, by the audience 86%. Even though with all the faux pas that we mentioned, stuff like that, I had a great time overall. I like to see their bodies switch, and I like that they took the time to learn how to control it. And even though they learned how to control it, they still had problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised to say I did like the musical number. I do like the scene. That I will see on Broadway. Kamala Khan was amazing. This girl is going to kill it. Not just in MCU, other films that she does. She's going to kill it. She has it.
Yeah.
Brie Larson did a better job here as the lead role. Because again, a lot of movies were not moving us forward. This movie at the end definitely moved us forward. So this movie is, for me, in the 80s. I'll give it a solid 85. It is worth the watch. I'm not sure if it's worth the own, but it's definitely worth the watch. Definitely a theater experience.
I would say, yeah, it's a good time. I'm agreeing with the score. I think Nick Fury's Secret Invasion should have been after this movie.
I agree.
It would have made more sense after the whole incident and everything, and now the squirrels are like actually there.
Well, at the same token, don't forget he in Secret Evasion, he didn't have the eye patch until the end. I mean, it could be minor. It could be minor, but it's just like that. The only thing they did was here, like in the sense of a tie-in from Secret Wars to this, was that ship that took him up into Saber.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, that is our Marvelous review of the Marvels. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Let us know in the description below. Also, if you have a movie or show you would like us to review, just leave a comment below. For any business inquiries, you can always reach us at talesoftvbros@gmail.com. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.